first upload, for some reason I didn't realize that the sound wasn't working. So I'm just gonna quickly go through this again, just so you can kind of hear me as I go through it. This is talking about Nano and Vim. Nano is a way to add files to your system using the terminal, and then you can save it. Vim is a more advanced text editor style, and it's helpful to mention it's for powering up your Linux skills. So creating a file using Nano, the name of the file you'd like to use, and then once you exit out, you have to hit yes, save it. Edit task located in TryHackMe home directory using Nano. You would just do the same thing using Nano. You do Nano task 3, pulls up the file, and then you can cat it and get your answer right there. 4, this one is showing wget, so getting files. So you would do wget. This is the location of it, like on the internet or wherever you're pulling your file from, and that's how you would get a file using wget. Here is just showing so the variable and value. So the IP address of the remote system is right there. The user on the remote system, you can see the name would be Ubuntu. Name of the file of the local system. So that's what you want. That's the name of it on the local system. And then when you transfer it over to the remote system, you're going to rename it to transfer text. Using SCP, you can do SCP, important text. It's just showing that right here, the name of the file. You're going to send it over to Ubuntu at his IP address, and then this is the location you want it to go, and then you're going to rename it to transfer text using that. Down here shows how to start like a server using your computer or your terminal. You would do Python 3-m HTTP server. That starts a server, and then you just open up a new tab. And that's what this is talking about all right here. So we're connected at the time, and then use Python's 3 server to start us. I was just saying, you use the Python 3-m HTTP server. And then once you do that, you download the file. So you download this right here on the TryHackMe attack box. That's when you'll open up your new terminal. You do wget. You type this in right here, and then you get your .flag text, and then you just concatenate it. And then once you concatenate it, you get your answer right there. And then here's just want you to play around with the module. Next one here is showing how processes, which are programs that are running on your machine, they run in order. So if one is 204, the next one is going to be in order at 205. Right. Here showing like the process ID, who has permissions to it. System ID is like a child to the start, so you know that it runs under when the system starts. And your system control, you can start, stop, enable, disable. Echo, here's showing an example of that. Echo, that high THM. You type that in, and it writes it. Here you do echo high THM and it shows you the port and the ID. That's what that one does instead. The script will keep repeating on screen until stop, or you suspend the process. Oops, did not mean to inspect. Cool. So using Control Z when you have something like this that's constant and this won't stop. So you can see here, Control Z, it's stopped and it's in the background. So it's running, but it's in the background. If you want to pull that back up, you do FG. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Now the process is running in the background. Our script background.sh, which can be confirmed by using ps aux command, we can backpedal and bring the process to the foreground to interact with. So with our process background, using either Control Z or the AND operator, we can use FG to bring it back into focus. So it will take it from looking like this back to looking like that. So if we're in the previous ID 300, it increments by 1 in order, so 301. If we wanted to cleanly kill a process, which clean up everything else, sig term, which is shown up here. It cleans up task beforehand. And locate the process that's running on the instance machine. What is the flag? THM processes. What command would we use to stop the service? My service, systems control, stop my service. And then if you wanted to enable it, system control, enable my service. And then if you wanted to bring something that's in the background back to the front, FG. And then name of the file that you want to bring up. All right. Chrome tab is just showing how you can set your system up to do things at a certain time automatically without you having to do it yourself. The first part here shows the timing of how you want it to happen, and then the second part shows what you want it to do. And that's what that is. And if you pull it up on the virtual machine, you can see that at reboot, the Chrome tab deployed instance machine IP will run. Skip that one. So on this one, what it's doing when you're looking at the logs deployed on the Linux machine, you can see who is entered by the access by pulling up ls-l. It will show who's been on there. Then you can look further using less access, use that log that they had, and then you can see their IP address, and then you can also see the activity that they were doing on that. So when you pull it up, you see the IP address 10.9.232.111, and then later you can see that they were looking at the file cats and dogs JPEG. And then then you just terminate the two things on there, and then that's how you got that one. I quickly ran through it because the first video I did, the audio wasn't working. So I got this one reran. The last part with the logs was probably the most difficult for me, just mainly because I think something went wrong with my virtual box a little earlier, so I wasn't picking up the right IP address, so I had to refer to the video to get the correct one, but eventually got it right. But other than that, it was a great class. I liked it. I'd probably rate it like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. I learned a lot about certain commands and like the packets behind it, and some other programs or processes that I have used, and now I like kind of get a little inside knowledge on them. So Really like that class. Thank you.